and welcome back to The Trend. Today's trending topic is going to be episodes 7 and 8 of Singles Inferno. I feel like we're finally getting to the meat and potatoes. If you haven't watched my other episode recaps, you can kind of see like my progression of thoughts on each of the characters so far. But as of this video, I'm just going to be talking about what's happening recently. The biggest love triangle square thing that we have going on. Between Theo and Young, I feel like that is a tale as old as time for like every girl trope where she's like deciding like, do I go with the guy that's more fun and exciting and like kind of has that bad boy vibe going on, which like you can't lie, that is Young. Like, okay, you might say like, no, he's actually a softie, but like the vibe he's giving, which I don't even agree with the fact that like, oh, he's a softie first of all, but the vibe he's giving is like that like wild card exciting. Or she's like, do I go with the guy that's probably not gonna hurt me, safer, he's more like a friend, he's nicer to me, he's been straightforward with me. But I feel like she's just like missing that excitement, which I hate because I actually love Theo so much and I like wish that he like would get picked in all of this, but I don't think that he will, honestly, just because like that spark is not really there. It feels like every time that she speaks with Theo, it's almost like she's just like feeling bad about how she doesn't like him. And in the beginning, it was like she was trying to convince herself that she liked him. And honestly, I feel bad saying this, but he was never even in the race, because even when it was between him and Jungso, I felt like she was leaning towards Jungso, and then she kind of realized like, okay, Jungso's like kind of a piece of garbage, which if you're a Jungso fan, I'm sorry. Like someone commented being like, oh, like on a previous video, they were like, oh, he's not that bad, like you have to see it from both sides. I'm like, I'm sorry, I literally do not like him, like he pisses me off so bad. I don't even like half of the men on this show, like even Young, I'm like, I'm kind of sick of him. I feel like the way he switched on to Sian so fast has never sat right with me, and therefore I just cannot like him. And then like, I don't know, I feel like he's secretly evil. I could be very much wrong and he's like a sweetheart, but he gives like actually a playboy like will mess up your life.
As I edit this, I realized there's one more thing I wanted to say about Young that I forgot to, which is like he spent the beginning of his date in paradise with Sian talking about how he didn't want her to feel that much pressure about her decision and to just enjoy it, yada yada yada, and then by the end of their date proceeded to pressure her so hard that she started crying. And I know she was like, no, he drew the feelings out of me, because she's gaslighting herself into thinking that he's good, but I did not like the way he like did that. Like, okay, if you're gonna say like enjoy your time, don't worry about anything, then stand on that. But it's like he couldn't help himself but to be like, so who do you really like? Like, ew.
Arin and Haelin, and I guess now Youjin, which is so random, but whatever. I think that him and Haelin make a better match and like a more fun, interesting couple because they are opposites and they kind of like get to balance each other out. Whereas him and Arin, I think, are the better match because they do match each other and like they live kind of similar lives and they have kind of similar goals. So like, for example, when they were like, oh, we live in the same city, like I feel like those type of things makes Dongho think that being with Arin in the long run is more realistic, and therefore I think he's gonna pick her, even though I feel like maybe if he was younger he would pick Haelin because it's more fun, it's more exciting. But the way this man was like, oh, I want to get married, like I'm looking to get married, and then Arin was like agreeing, I was like, no one wants to talk about the pick me that is Arin, when she was like talking about like, oh yeah, like I'm such a good cook, like I'm wife material, wife me up. And he was like, I like that he didn't like play into it too much. He was like, you know what that sounds like to most guys, right? Like that's like a good thing. She's like, no, like she tried to slide that in, and honestly it's fine. Youjin, I feel bad for because I feel like she has not had any type of good reputation with the contestants nor the judges, and I don't know how you guys are feeling as viewers, but I'm thinking like she's hella annoying. Instead of just like doing what she wants and like pursuing it and being straightforward about it, she's like going in her side interviews and like talks and being like, oh, I secretly wish that he wouldn't pick, or someone else would pick Arin so they would take her away. Like just like all the comments that she has like that just give like, it's like seeping bitterness out of her, I feel like is what turns everybody off from her. And I hate to say it, but it's the truth. Like she's just radiating bitter energy instead of like going out and actually talking to Dongho and trying to build a connection. And the thing that I don't like about actually just any of these like contestants is instead of actually trying to build a connection by talking about things that you would naturally like build a connection through, they just talk about how they want to build a connection or how they like you so much. Do you know what I mean? So for example, when Youjin's like, oh, well, I like you a lot and I would have picked you and I didn't get the chance to. And then she just keeps repeating that and emphasizing how much she likes him, which is fine. But it's like, instead of using that opportunity to talk, to actually say something meaningful that would naturally build a connection, you're just saying that. Or like Haelin, when she talked to Dongho as well, she did the same thing. Like, instead of saying something meaningful, she just kept saying like, I would pick you, I would pick you, I would pick you. Like, it's not like you're building anything genuine. And I feel like it happens a lot with younger contestants. I don't know why it's happening a lot with Dongho, because he's like, what, 38? No, he's like 30. But usually when it's older contestants, you do see those like more deep and meaningful talks that like naturally spark a connection, whereas the young people like don't really know how to do that, so they just constantly emphasize how much they want to build a connection with you and how much they like you, etc, etc. Literally every episode I like Jiyeon more and more, because what she said to Taehwan, I know some people might take it the wrong way and think like, oh, she's secretly not interested in him and like blah blah blah, which might be true, like I don't know, but I love what she said, because I feel like what she said essentially is like, she's emphasizing that if she gets chosen in the end, she doesn't want it to be because she was the only girl that Taewon talked to. She doesn't want it to be because she was basically his only option. So she's like, you know what, go invite someone else, and then if you build a connection, then if you choose me, like it's more meaningful than like, oh, I just chose her because I've been with her from the beginning and it's like whatever. Which is kind of also why I don't get like Theo's whole thing of like, he keeps saying like, when Sian came in my heart, I locked the door and closed it so no one else could get in. And it's like, I don't know if that would make someone necessarily feel good, instead of like saying, yeah, I got to know everyone and she was still the best out of everyone. Like, this, to me, that makes more sense, and maybe that's why she finds Yook more appealing, is because he did do that. Same thing with like when she was even leaning towards Jongso, like Jongso was getting to know other girls, so if he had picked Sian, it would have been more meaningful. The problem with him was he did not pick her. In fact, he did not pick anyone because he was just lollygagging this whole time, and then at the very end he picked her, but he wasn't even, you know, telling her that. He was telling Haelin and the other girls that, so she wouldn't even know about that. Like, it was crazy.
There's so many things that I forgot to mention. Did anyone else literally scream when they found out what Taehwan did? Like, I was not expecting that by a long shot. First of all, again, when they were talking about his age, like, yeah, I was getting the vibe that he was like some little punt as well. Come to find out he's like 31. And then like a underground club owner that plays house music. First of all, slay. I hope he's playing Renaissance. But two, the way I didn't expect it.
There's a few characters that I wish that we saw like some more content out of, and then the new guy that came in, like I feel like we were robbed of content from them, because first of all, they had a connection. I don't know why it didn't like develop further. Like, I get it, okay, if you're not going to Paradise, it's hard to build a connection, but you can still do something in Inferno. Like, I don't know why we literally saw nothing from them. Overall, I do like the structure of this season a lot better than previous ones, just because I think before the problem that I had was like they were bringing in new characters too often, and like the show is only what, I think 10 days, I'm forgetting, but it's like a really short amount of time. The fact that we just got those two, I feel like is kind of better, because it gave them ample time to kind of develop and like integrate into the group. I just feel like the guy in specific didn't do that. I don't know why he didn't do that. Maybe he's shy, like I don't know. But I do like that they only brought them in and like you felt like you knew each contestant. Sometimes it feels like new people come in and you're like, I literally don't know who you are. It killed me when Sian went to Paradise with Yook and then they were like, I don't know what they were doing, but then I think that clip is what they said in the trailer, where they were like, oh, isn't this too American? Like, isn't this too, like, I don't know, I think they were saying like it was too provocative in the trailer. They were like, I think that this is the moment they were referring to, although they weren't explicit about it. It just killed me because it was so funny. They're like, yeah, they're adults, and like, let it be known, obviously I'm not American, but I'm Canadian, but like, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. Like, let's be real, that's like one of the main ways to build connection. I get it not having to be prim and proper all the time, and that's probably like really close to why he picked Sian again over Minsol. Like, I feel like that really deepened their connection. That was like intense. Anyways, those were just some of my thoughts for now. I'm also going to be posting another recap after I watch the next set of episodes, which I'm behind right now. I think the next set of episodes came out literally today and I haven't watched them yet. Today being Tuesday. But yeah, Let me know what you think. I'm gonna put a poll up on the community page so you can vote on some of the contestants. And other than that, I don't know, drop a comment if you want to talk about something, like the video if you liked it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!